So I promised folks I'd do a video on ferrules. So I thought I'd do a little multitasking and do one that I could share at work as well. So ferrules, of course, are you find on musical instruments, fishing rods, golf clubs, tools, obviously. All they are is a band of metal, usually. Sometimes it can be something as simple as a piece of antler or bone. And as long as it's something that can strengthen a joint, usually where a tool is entering another piece of wood or where you've got kind of a weak structure. And so again, it's meant to strengthen. So it can go anywhere from something very simple, like wrapped wire handle, wrapped wire there. That's just simple wrapped brass. And that's used on a crooked knife. To this was originally a round ferrule that I flattened out to meet, kind of make those dimensions there. Also again on a crooked knife used for canoe making. Down to the simple ones you see commonly on like lathe turning tools. They do the job. Well, they're not particularly attractive, but they certainly do the job, and they're often held in by deforming it or by creating a dimple in it, rather than putting like a glue joint of some sort. Okay. And then you get of course, the files with the absolutely hideous handles and the butt ugly ferrule there, down to something like these two are both, that's sterling silver, and they're kind of hideous and dirty right now because these are well-worn tools. Down to kind of one of my more commonplace ferrules that I use in my shop, just simple brass tubing. You can get at any hobby store. I go with the thicker stuff. I think it's .028 in thickness. That's standard, not metric, so .028 inches for thickness, not the .014 telescoping tubing, because that's way too thin. And this one actually has double ferrules on it, so of course this is a weird handle. And then there's a ferrule strengthened joint, and this is actually a poured and turned pewter ferrule. I think that's actually, it's either bismuth or pewter, I'm not sure. Down to, again, common one there. And then the ferrules on musical instruments. And then ferrules can also be, often they're just simple, simple straight round tubing, cylindrical. And then on some higher end instruments and when you're looking for a much stronger joint, you can go for something like this. Now this is made out of German silver or nickel silver. It has a high nickel content, and this is actually started out as flat stock, which was cut to size or cut to shape, and then joined with a hard silver solder joint down the center, which disappears on nickel silver. You can't see it. And then this is, of course, if you can see it, it's conical. And this provides probably the strongest joint or strongest ferrules of them all, really. Because as you tighten it onto the piece that it's going onto, the tighter, the closer it gets, tighter it gets, because of that taper. And here you can see essentially the same thing done in, this is brass, and of course more nickel silver there, and there's another sterling silver. So that's just a real quick introduction into some different types of ferrules, and then I will also do something about the tools that I use, or that you can use to make these ferrules. And then I'll hope to do either a kind of a graphic, like a page of how I do it with like basic instructions, and a video as well.